Good morning. What is the life? I'm already exhausted trying to describe. Is making loops all the time, loops into loops, then some knots come, again a new loop. That is the life. So to unlock or to remove loops, there is a way to find causes of that movement, and that is the work of therapy. Luggage comes with a birth, with so many grains and seeds of so many things. There can be a better result, a better way to live, but it will never remove the existential search. The search will continue because the real cause of the rise of a search, the rise of what's the meaning of all this, who am I after all, has not been seen. We always look a step further. We don't question the one who can look. So, when you are freed from beliefs, freed from searching, loops may continue, but it doesn't make rise radically anymore to a search, to an existential search. So it's of a great benefit. The deep anxiety which comes with a birth disappears. And what a luck. So that's why we are here, to see that it's one's birthright to be free. Freed from our birth. Any question, any doubt, please tell. I prefer to hear a doubt or a question than to hear a silence which is fake. Chin chin. The sound of enlightenment. Yeah, there is a mic.
How do you lose the identity of being born?
Just speaking about it means you speak of something. You objectify yourself in that way. I am born because you see, you look at the body and at the character, the mind.
Mm-hmm.
They are born, sure. But who am I? Who is this I which inhabitates this body and this mind? It was perhaps prior to the birth already, but there was nothing to objectify it.
So it's not to avoid the identification or with the, let's say, personal I-body connection. It's
No,
more than to focus on the non.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You see, you can't. I mean, when I say you can't, you may have some experiences that I is not identified, but it will be experiences. Because you see, the mind can even conceive the unknown. Already to speak about the unknown is taken by the mind. It's a concept. So that's why it's something else than to understand or to figure it out. That's why those words are there. You have to realize, but it's already realized. So the words are difficult, but still we can use it if you understand what I mean. You have to, it's not that you have to, at some point when I forgets its embodiment, that is obvious, or that shines, and there is a self-understanding that it has always been there. That is the real nature of everything. Now I will interpret it when the mind comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I am free, which is all right. Yes, he has known a moment of freedom not being there.
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot, it's a lie also to say I am free, because then it becomes an experience, a possession of someone again. And that's why you can say afterwards I lost it or whatever.
Mm-hmm. So that means that you are not attached to a concept of being free, which comes from the ego I.
You have to be attached to that concept of freedom if you want to get rid very quickly at once to all other concepts.
Okay.
And then naturally you will see that itself was just a play of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
But you cannot, you see what I say, you cannot, if you understand again, it will be, I don't know, you call it in English, beforehand. You cannot rely on knowledge beforehand. Means, oh, if I run after freedom, it's still a concept, so I will not do. No, run after freedom, be free, and then you see, all was a concept.
Okay. That reminds me to a teacher who told me once, you have to fake Buddha until you become Buddha.
Yes, and happily, you cannot then be free because you went to your memory. You see, everything can be understood and conceptualized and taken. Now, if you hear this sentence, tell me again the sentence.
The last one?
Yeah, the memory one.
That you, I mean yours or mine?
Yours.
That you have to fake Buddha until you become Buddha.
Okay, what effect it gives you?
This is,
You cannot reply that quickly, then you go in your memory. What effect it gives you?
an expectation.
Again, the memory. This sentence, like any sentence uttered about it, it is to cut off something which doesn't exist, but we believed so much in it. To cut off the thread of the mind with the mind. If you say an expectation, you are still linked to the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because the mind knows that only when he doesn't see something present. He expects in the future.
So
While those sentences uttered, let's say in Satsang, but it can be anywhere, not only in this kind of circumstance, is to give you the opportunity to be freed, naturally freed from the glue of your mind.
mm-hmm.
So the answer will not be in the mind. The answer will be being. Don't insist on that word, but...
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's why you see all those, let's say, pearls, which are sometimes expressed towards what is uncatchable. They can be put in a book, they can be put in a mala, but then you can lose the book and you can lose the mala. It's not meant to be known. It is meant to allow you to be. That's why you see the Zen master, they just gave one koan that you had to chew days, weeks or years. You don't need many pearls. One is enough. I had one from my master that, and you know it. I give it to you too. Don't land anywhere. But don't land anywhere. How? Don't land anywhere. since I spoke about loops, I like to add that loops don't mean anything regarding the real thing. They don't mean anything. It is just your own personal story which brings them, makes them appear and disappear. But they don't mean anything essentially. Be freed from that preoccupation. Otherwise you would be busy again with the manifestation only. And you had enough of this manifestation, that's why you are here. And it is not understandable because while being enough, while being being exhausted, or you have enough of this manifestation, once you are dropping all kind of landings, there is absolutely no question or difference between manifestation or none. So all the problems are coming from the mind. All the non-understandings are coming from the mind. That's a good loop. Hi.
Hi, Ganga. Yeah, you talk what I need, yeah, or just, I'm almost every morning in this loop, you know this old story, this platform of when I wake up in the night and then the body wakes up, I see it, but there is no memory, nothing, just this loop which I experience since years, and it's everything dissolves. There is, I don't know, everything is dissolved, no memory, it's just in this, like this.
And what's the question?
Yeah, what's the question? I mean, I would like to overcome this, but I see I cannot do it, and
Probably it will quieten down, maybe with more or less quality, but when you don't expect. The great way is not difficult for those who do not have preferences.
yeah.
We can have preferences, this is the nature of the mind, but to believe that it will bring you happiness, that's another thing. Here, give up.
Here, give up.
Give up the expectation of happiness.
Yeah, I think there is really something. If I overcome this, then I'm really happy. So.
No, if you give up, you will be very happy.
Thank you. Give up the microphone too.
The mind is so greasy, you know, if he wants, let's say, happiness, you may even get it, and then it will never be enough. So you want more happiness. And so it's, you have to be struck by this structure of the mind. Then you really give up. Yeah. It becomes so unbearable for you that you have no other way than to give up. It took this shape to you, otherwise you are hard-headed. So it's your teaching.
Yeah.
Give up. You see, you can more or less quite easily give up 99% of your expectations, belief and all that, but there is one that you don't want to touch, and that will show up. Everybody in Satsang knows.
Okay.
Good morning. It's not a question.
It's
Yeah.
never a question.
I'm sorry.
Okay, thanks.
It's a statement because you always seem to speak directly to me, regardless of what it is that's in my silly head.
I hope so.
And this morning I had 3 words looping, so we're speaking of loops.
Yeah.
And these 3 words were lost and found.
Mm.
And now I'm here, and I see this is kind of our body life.
Yes.
Do you agree?
Yes,
We lose it, we find it, we lose
Yes.
it, it's just never ending.
yes,
I
Very
think
good.
this is why it's in my head, so it's out. Thank you.
yeah. Yeah. You see, it was never in, huh? It's because you hooked at some clouds, that some thought. Otherwise you are freed from everything. Yeah.
I'm just thinking in this that you said about giving up. And obviously, I have many things to give up.
Little louder, please.
I have many things to give up.
No.
Perhaps.
No, no. You can be direct. That's what I said in the beginning. If you do therapeutical work, there are many things. And it will be endless because this mind is endlessly creating. That's why, in the end, there you are left with, I'm still this bloody searcher, seeker, or whatever. you know. So you have to touch the root cause, which is the identification of I, which is actually totally free, but the identification of I with the body-mind, which actually is just a belief. If that is not questioned or seen, then you're right. There are myriads of things to give up. Yeah.
What about give up? That we have to give up.
It's when you're free, then you see you had not even to give up. Yeah, you know, that's sure.
Because if you have to give up,
Yeah, but you jump from one thing to another. Here I totally agree with you. To give up was in a certain context maybe good for that person, but in reality, what is realization is just to see I was never away. There is nothing to do, nothing to give up. I totally agree. But you see, satsang has a double, it looks like to me, a double target. It tries to remove the feeling of separation. At the same time, it does as if it was real for someone and it roots out. It's not understandable, but it's a double target. Normally you can, how you say, through arrow, only in one arrow at a time. Here you threw 2 arrows at a time. That's what I do. If you are done, Antonio, if you are done, don't worry about what's said in satsang. Because if you are done, you are freed and you don't care anymore. You have not to learn something new, you have not to confirm your understanding.
This done is also another concept.
Huh?
This done is another concept. What is done?
And then I will not speak to you anymore.
No, we use cliches. We have cliches.
We have to what?
We have these cliches. This is the mind.
Cliches.
And the cliché.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I removed the cliché. You just
But
bring
the mind,
back.
the mind. How? What is? Show me something that is beyond the mind.
Everything is in the mind.
Exactly.
Everything is the
so
mind.
then we are hooked.
But you speak of what we see and what we can catch and what we can feel and experience. Then, yeah, sure, this world is the mind. And I, like that, I am in the mind. Sure.
And the movie is the same.
The movie is the same.
It's only the movie, so
Yeah.
we may as well be in the movie.
So what's your consideration? I totally agree with you about the movie.
Yeah, because I hear you saying this is the movie, or this is your mind. But I see that everything is the mind. Everything is it's only the movie. So it must be something that we come to do in the movie.
You know, you're right. If you make an experience of what is unknown, uncatchable, unconceivable, it's in the movie. If you don't make it anymore an experience, the movie is in it. Now if you like, all what I say is in the movie. Okay, I cannot deny it.
So you see, in myself, you see, I see that in the movie I come to acknowledge,
Yeah.
and if you want, words obviously.
It's
if I
okay.
put 3 vowels together, I fuck it up, because it's not possible. But it's an intention, it's a direction. You see, I see that we have to see our bullshit. It's very necessary. Constantly see my bullshit, and in seeing this bullshit, there is a dropping.
But yourself now speak of dropping. I also spoke of giving up. Then what? Well, I think we speak of the same
It's not an
thing.
action. You see.
Huh?
It is not an action. It wouldn't
Who
say
said it's an action?
action.
Yeah.
It's not an action. It's not
I
something
never
that-
said it's an action.
When you say drop it, then it's
And
an
what
action.
you say, you say drop it. It's
No.
what then?
Different, because this is drop is
And
drop.
who knows if you don't understand me? I also say different. Papaji, I got a sentence to, I want to show you. I will show you. He sent a sentence. He sent, no, but. He says exactly the same. Papaji said, keep quiet. Nobody understood. Because those who are in the mind, they figure it out, and they keep quiet, it's a say. He says himself, I still say keep quiet, but I don't mean what you understand. But still he says keep quiet. I do the same. You want to hear?
No. I hear it myself many times. It took me a long time to understand.
Then
what
why
he
you
means.
discuss?
It took me a long time to
Why you
understand what he
discuss?
means. Because I thought that he meant not thinking. I said, how can I not think? And for years I was thinking I should stop thinking.
But that was your delay.
Sorry?
That was your delay. Maybe somebody here suddenly will be struck by, keep quiet, give it up. And then there will be, that's it. Huh?
Hopefully.
What to do? That's why you see, Dakshinamurti was a very known and taken as the highest guru because he was teaching in silence. But then nobody understood. Here we are. So what to do? Okay, there will be no satsang. There will still be a satsang because a seeker really wants to be free, and for some reason he will see me near the rock of a beach, for example, me or somebody else who cares, and he will ask a question, and I will tell, keep quiet. Sure. What to do? I like that story. Maybe someone reminds me how it happens, but I will just say the context. Ashtavakra went to see the king. Which one? Janaka?
Yes.
Janaka. Huh? And he was also a wise man at those times, you know. Wow. Okay. He was a wise man, and he came not to see the king, but to see the wise man in him. And he wants to live after having put his question, the answer, but this I don't remember what it is. But he puts the foot in the, what do you call it?
Janaka promised the whole kingdom. Janaka promised the whole kingdom to the one who will give him instant enlightenment. That's why Ashtavaka came, and he was crippled.
Yeah, but that's a detail, yeah.
So yeah, he wanted from the time of the horse until he goes
That's
on
what
the
I
horse.
wanted to say. So he put his foot, I don't hear, and he has not yet put the other foot on the other one, that the word of Janaka struck him. So we never know. Yeah. Very mysterious. You can, there are so many examples, Antonio. You can see, okay, in the movie, Papaji met Ramana in Arunachala, and he stayed there. And you know that story. One day he didn't come to Ramana. The next day he comes to Ramana, and Ramana asked him, "You were not there yesterday. Where were you?" And Papaji replied, "I was playing with Krishna." And the words of Ramana in the movie, he told him, "Is Krishna here now?" He said, "No, I was playing yesterday." Ramana, whatever is not here now is not it. And that, in the movie, while saying, hearing, it's in the movie. But that, through him, in what? I cannot say is or is not. More than that, I cannot tell what is this mystery. Kale. She was my cat. Now it's Navy. Yeah. And I even go that far. In the movie, if suddenly you drop the search and you don't catch, you are freed from beliefs, even if it is in the movie, who cares? It's fantastic. It's a blessing. I can die. So, you know. Antonio! Do you want to ask a question? I don't. Do I know you? Yeah. Ah, the mic, yeah.
I'm you.
You are me? You are me?
You. I am me, and I am you.
I like to hear that. That's good.
And when I come,
Yeah.
I look at your eyes,
Mm.
and in your eyes,
Mm.
I am me.
In anybody's eyes will be like this.
That is it. No question.
But it's true that sometimes you can see that. I remember Papaji was showing me the photo of Ramana, and he said, look at his look. It's a non-objective look. Yeah. Otherwise you see many objects, no?
Mm-hmm.
A crowded look. Yeah. I learned like this, with those small sentences. You see, when you look at an animal, for example, we are exactly the same. What I see, maybe I am wrong, or somebody can say something, but they will never have that that experience of it. They are it, they do their things. While it looks like when the mind surrenders, gives up, he has an experience of it, but the one who has a surrendered mind knows it's not that experience, is thrown where he is also. But that part is not in the animals. They cannot speak, so maybe I am wrong. Yeah.
Ganga, what is the resistance? You know, on some levels, it is self-evident. But
It is
self-evident.
Uh-huh.
You know, but there is. I mean, I'm talking obviously in my experience.
Yeah.
But there is always, for me, in my experience, of resistance. There may be more or less, but there is something there which is also greedy.
You are a bad guy. No, just.
But you know, so sometimes there will be more availability, and when that availability comes, it's like a child with a bag of sweets. You know, we'll move into that space, but then these things are very subtle. It's hard to describe. But for me, it is. For me, this thing about resistance, I want to okay. I want to understand it. I mean, okay, that is a very mental process, but I don't want to understand it with my mind. I want to understand it through myself.
But you have not to understand. This is the problem. If you want to understand anything, you're in your mind.
Yeah.
And what is pointed out in Satsang is exactly that. It's what you are, no more as a personal you, just now, when you are not busy with your mind.
But I'm not talking about mental understanding. For me, I will make a distinction between mental understanding and understanding, true understanding.
Ah, this I don't know. I don't know
very well, actually. But I have to put words on something. I mean, you know, otherwise I don't use any words.
But those words are troublesome, now.
But we're communicating.
I do communicate, and I don't, I'm not troubled.
Can we go back to the resistance? Okay, that answers it. I can have it there.
Yes, yes, yes. That's a very good one.
I don't need to. It's difficult to get there.
Take a photo of him. In case he forgot.
I seem to be picking up a lot today. It's about the last gentleman's questions. We have a word in English, not many people know it. It's totally different to understanding, and it's inner standing.
Inner standing.
And maybe
Then you suppose there is an outer standing. Same.
Yeah, overstanding, there's lots. But
It's okay.
with regards to the child,
Oh.
I feel that when I was a child, I didn't know the world was messed up, and so I was happy. So I think if we take away the understanding and just be the child, just because we know it's messed up, it doesn't have to affect us.
I think the happiness of a child is nothing in comparison with the happiness to be a grown-up free. As you like, but I would not for an inch have a wish to be reborn, and if I am reborn it's all right, but it will not be out of a wish. And I was a happy child. As you like.
What I meant by this was now, as an adult,
You are not an adult.
as an adult, in an adult body.
Then we speak of what? Of a body?
Of the body.
Yeah, I don't want to speak of a body.
Okay.
It's Satsang.
I like it easy.
Yeah.
I
And what I already had one time with Muji, that there was I was sitting there and there was the words I didn't understand the words anymore. So it was something like a transmission of
it's in the past, you go in your memory and there was a transmission. Interesting. Okay. What a story. It's a good story. And then it ends where?
No, this is an example for what I mean. What I like it easy. So is there something like direct transmission?
You see, if you believe in transmission, you are bound to your guide. The guide points out. He never transmits, he cannot. Because himself and yourself are the same. There is no need of transmission. Realization is to see who you are. It will not be through transmission. Transmission is meant to keep master discipleship in the movie. Buddha, you see, even Buddha could not transmit anything. He tried hard. Huh? I think he tried 80 years. It's very interesting. Let's go back to what I said. In your language, for example, you would think that Papaji, my master, transmitted to me, don't land anywhere. Okay? If I took it, and when I took it, it was like a bone, still a teaching that I could chew. I had to chew because I still believed I was tyrannized by my mind. Now, if you remain in the transmission, you remain at the best a very good disciple. You follow, you chew what your master told you. It was maybe of a very good, how to say, it was a better journey than to bring an object. Okay? But the fact which makes drop the seeker, it's when you give up the transmission. When you do what the transmission tries to tell you. You understand? Good. Because I know many people who are excellent devotees and disciples of Papaji, of Ramana. They still are chewing. They are beautiful, faithful, but they are not free. And the master told that to make them free. You understand?
Bonjour.
Where are you? Ah, coucou.
Merci. Thank you so much for this moment, for this satsang. I was chewing kind of a question.
Yes.
I feel like I surrender. and then the less I expect, and the more I feel the magic happens. At a point that I'm so surprised of what's happening recently and how many gifts I receive and so on.
Yeah.
And then I look back to my life and I remember many moments that were magical. So, like whenever I was on the ground, let's say financially, there always came something suddenly and brought me back into the normal flow. And
so what do you want to say?
It's a bit like I said last time, it's a solar and lunar eclipse. Like we had lunar eclipse this Monday morning, and the eclipses are so magic, and for me are evidence of that everything flows as it should. Les choses vont comme elles doivent aller. But at the point that I get afraid, I'm like, what's happening? Why is everything suddenly so magic? It's almost over. I mean,
Pour you.
Finally, someone who knows what I'm suffering. No, I'm not suffering from it, but it's like it's.
But you are troubled by so much magic.
Yeah, I'm troubled. Yeah.
Don't expect magic also.
In fact, my question is: did you have similar experience?
Some magic?
Did you have similar experience that once you let go expectations, that suddenly you have the impression that everything comes in abundance and it's overwhelming?
It's by waves in the movie.
Oh.
But happily, I don't depend on these magical waves, even if I acknowledge and enjoy them.
Yes. The snow is always the most beautiful one.
I am struck by the fact that it's quite priceless not to stir up the mind. And when you do, you dance out of ecstasy and you weep because you have longing to go back to yourself and so on. That is a movie.
Talking of movie, sometimes I feel like in the Truman Show.
Yeah, it's all right.
Everything is so perfect. I would like to ask anyone here, are you paid for this? Are we in Hollywood?
It's Satsang good. There was Hollywood, then Bollywood, then Satsang good. Or Sangha-wood.
Hollywood.
Huh?
Hollywood, yes.
Ah, that's the best, this guy. Yeah. So.
yeah, it's like my mind is coming like, cannot be true, this is not possible to explain with the...
Yeah, then you keep quiet.
I love that. Merci beaucoup.
Or you just go in the forest and say, wow, cannot be true, and you come back and you keep quiet.
No.
Yes. Thank you very much.